Okay. If I can have everybody's attention. I can be a high, I can talk to her. Thank you, Augie. Some of you here have no idea who we are, what we're doing, so I'm just going to give you a little recap so you know what's going on and why this kind of run group has invaded the American Legion here. So first of all, I really want to thank Wendy, and I don't know, the commander's not here, so you're stepping up as manager here at the post. So Wendy, I can't thank you enough for just your hospitality. It really means a lot to us as we go from town to town to go to a place of rest and kind of be welcomed and have a meal. It's a way for us to just let down and just, so we really, really appreciate it. And I know sometimes it's last minute for some of these things we do, and it takes people out of their comfort and out of their normal duties to go out of their way to help us, and thank you so much. It's just, please, if the commander doesn't come back, make sure that he knows how heartfelt it is that we appreciate being able to be here. And these guys love a bar at the end of the day for some reason. I don't know why runners love bars, but they do. But what we're doing is pretty significant. And it's never been done before in the history of our country that I know of. And that is to take every single name of all of the fallen service members. And I'm talking names that most people don't even know exist. I mean, not even the DOD has the list of names of service members that we've accumulated. We've accumulated, starting with the USS Cole. Do you have that going, Teddy?
Yes.
Starting with the USS Cole, which was October 12th of 2000, 20,000 service members who have given their lives, either while serving in battle or during training of some sort, or by their own hand through PTSD related. So we have a number that is, and a database that is just, it's sad is what it is, but it's comprehensive. And so what we've decided as an organization is to create the most comprehensive and largest fallen veteran tribute ever conceived. And we're taking every one of those 20,000 names, every single one of them, and we've placed them in a designated spot at a certain mile. And every time we run a mile, we stop and we read the names of a fallen service member who died on a particular day. And it could be one, or it could be, yesterday we ran for, it was our 9/11 mile. We ran for 57 for 1 mile. And so mile after mile, we're reading the names of fallen service members who have died on a consecutive date of death. So 9/11, 9/12, 9/15, whatever that date is, we're reading those names. And we're going to name every one of those 20,000 all the way to Arlington Cemetery when we end on August 5th of this year. Yeah. And so we have a select crew, and we have rotating runners. Some runners stay with us for a day or 2 days. Some stay for a week. Some stay for 3 weeks. But always rotating runners, because we need a lot of on-the-ground support. And there's nobody that's running all the way across the country. We're going 6,000 miles. Augie, ready to see Sandy? He's going to run across the country, okay. I think you ran 100 yards today, Augie.
200.
So 200 yards. He's driving miles. He's going to drive all 6,000.
Yeah, but for 60 years old, that's good, cheap.
I agree.
So for 120 days, we're going through 19 states to honor these 20,000 heroes over 6,000 miles. And something else that's never been done before we are actually live streaming this entire run. So you could go to the internet, click on a button, and watch us at any time during our run day.
Live feed?
Live feed. It is tied to the back of one of our vehicles, and you can watch the runners run each mile. And then at the mile, we have a ceremony. And what happens at each mile, it's very, very regimented. We run up to the mile, we stop and go to attention. Then one of the runners asks if there's any Gold Star families at that mile, because we want to make sure that if there are any Gold Star families there, we want to recognize them. And then we read the marker and the date of those lives that were lost. So basically it says, what does it say, Kristen? You have it memorized?
This mile is dedicated to all the service members who lost their lives on...
Exactly. This mile is dedicated to all those service members who lost their lives on whatever date that is.
We go day 7 mile. We ran to 320 today, so our last one was day 7 mile 320.
So we'll read the mile, the day, and the mile marker. So the camera, actually, the live feed, everyone knows where we are. And then we'll start reading the names of those who we're running for on that mile. It may just be one name. It may be 57. It doesn't matter. Whoever died on that day, anywhere in the world, that's the names that we read. And then we carry a small American flag and a small honor and remember flag, and we plant them in the ground. One set for every name. And then the runners come back to attention. They do a hand salute in reverence to those names and respect. And then they pick up the next set of names for the next mile, and they move on. And they do this mile after mile. It's just, regimented is the best word I can think of, but it's a protocol and a procedure that we have set in place that's standard, so that every family, every citizen who watches us knows exactly what we're doing, and we're handling every name with the same respect. Today we ran, this is my wife.
44. Milk and bread.
I know, she's in Virginia. It'll take me a while to get there.
44 miles.
We ran 44 miles today. It's one of our short days. 57 miles was our longest day so far. And we ran for 101 heroes today. So 101 heroes were divided into those 44 miles. And as part of our ceremony at the end of every day, we like to acknowledge those names again, because all of you didn't get to hear those names. Our runners said them out loud, and those who watched were able to hear them. But we want to make sure that the impact of these names resonates with everyone, because as you hear these names being read, I want everybody to realize that each one of these individuals is not a statistic, but they're a name who had a family and had friends who loved them, an extended family, and every one of them is important. Now you may hear the name and think, oh, they're just names. No, they're not. If all of a sudden, through this reading of these names, you recognized one, or one was your friend, or one was your family member, wouldn't your heart just go, oh, wow, that's mine. That name belongs to me. Well, if all of those 101 families were in this room, every time we read a name, boom, touched, boom, touched, boom, touched. That's the way I want you to think about that, because you're hearing the names for those families. And I keep reminding the runners that this may be the last time anybody ever says that name again. I don't know that. And so it's so important to reverently and respectfully recognize the loss of these men and women who have given us the ability to do what we're doing right now in a free country. And so I'm going to ask the runners to read the names today, and I'd ask everyone to just be respectful. It's going to take a few minutes. And then I'm going to ask, I want everybody to think about this, because then I'm going to ask if anybody in the room has lost a friend or a family member and would like to say their name out loud after we read the ones that we ran for today. I don't have to put you on the spot, but you've noticed, and it doesn't have to be from any generation. It doesn't matter what generation that your friend or your family member died in. If you know someone and want to call their name out loud, we'll give you that opportunity at the end of our read. And so, Kristen, however you guys want to start, if you guys would get together. Do you want to read on the mic? Yeah. Okay.
Careful of the cords.
Don't break a leg.
Here you go.
Work these calves a little more. Thank you.
Thank you. Master Sergeant Dean Edward Hickman, United States Air Force. Corporal Jonathan Dwayne Gross, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant Alejandro Sanchez, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant Chester Dale Polson, Jr., United States Army. Staff Sergeant James Jerome Gianos, United States Army. Petty Officer 3rd Class Alfred Acacia Mendoza, Jr., United States Navy. Petty Officer 3rd Class Jerry Todd Seifert, United States Navy. Corporal Don Jose McMahon, United States Army. Petty Officer 3rd Class Josh Mueller, United States Navy. Specialist James Lynn Taylor, United States Army. Petty Officer 3rd Class Michael Roy Richards, Jr., United States Navy. Lance Corporal Chad Len Charlotte, United States Marine Corps. Seaman Irving Javier Ibarra, United States Navy. Chief Warrant Officer 4 James Lee Overbaugh, United States Army. Sergeant Vaughn Edward Simmons, United States Army. Petty Officer 1st Class MacArthur Williams, Jr., United States Navy. Lieutenant Corporal Sandra Jean Lynch, United States Army. Petty Officer 3rd Class Jonathan Alonzo, United States Navy. Captain William Survey Moe, United States Army. Petty Officer 1st Class Harold Russell Love, United States Navy.
Petty Officer 2nd Class Robert Calvin Stroop, Jr., United States Navy. First Lieutenant Christian John Alvarez, United States Marine Corps. PFC Jack James Beasley, United States Army. Sergeant Tony Tyrone Alderman, United States Army. Commander Christopher John Franklin, United States Navy. Private First Class Anthony Andrew Vasituro, Jr., United States Army. Lance Corporal Gilberto Lopez Rodriguez, Jr., United States Marine Corps. Chief Warrant Officer 3 Michael Edward Reese, United States Army. Sergeant Artis Hardiman McCullough, Jr., United States Army. Master Sergeant Evander Earl Andrews, United States Air Force. Specialist Jeffrey Mark Davenport, United States Army. Petty Officer 2nd Class Tyrone Lamont Moultrie, United States Navy. Specialist Lauren James Janesco, United States Army. Specialist William Hernandez, United States Army. Specialist Robert Joseph Coleman, United States Army. Specialist Talaya Tarico Marshall, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Von Jean Bain, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Harlan Benjamin Rowley, United States Air Force. Sergeant Michael John Haptenstall, United States Army.
Private First Class Thomas Scott Healer, United States Army. Specialist First Class Ronald Allen Swanson, United States Army. Corporal
Correction.
Stephen.
Sergeant First Class.
Sorry, First Class. Sorry. Corporal Stephen Peter Gaffney, United States Marine Corps. Staff Sergeant Terry K. Nelson, United States Army. Private Petty Officer 2 Tammy Christine Keown, United States Navy. LTC Larry Hardiman Pruitt, United States Army. Tactical Sergeant Scott Christopher Mayer, United States Air Force. Petty Officer 1 John Wesley Patterson, United States Navy. MM3 Ronnie Joe Palm Jr., United States Navy. PFC Christopher Tiff Stone Cipher, United States Army. Specialist John Joseph Edmonds, United States Army. Private Second Class Jeffrey Lehman Harris, United States Army. Private Second Class Duane Patrick Turner, United States Army. Sergeant Jonathan Ramos, United States Army. Senior Master Sergeant Edward Ray Admire, United States Air Force. Airman First Class Cassandra Colleen Willoughby, United States Air Force. Master Sergeant Donald Ray Johnson, United States Army. Petty Officer 2 Kristen Eleanor Shemley, United States Navy. Master Sergeant Michael Patrick Stanislaw Chick, United States Army. Petty Officer 2 Joseph Anthony Cooper, United States Navy.
Petty Officer Second Class Joel Ramos Silvestri. Chief Warrant Officer 5 Edward Milton Riley, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Juan Lisandro Cueva, United States Army. Ensign Kerry Downey Shoemaker, United States Navy. Private First Class Edward Stephen Gray, United States Army. Chief Petty Officer Jerry Lee Robbins, United States Navy. Sergeant Gary Keith Hudson, United States Army. Sergeant Anthony Brian Skipper, United States Army. Specialist Lucas Ethan Rojas, United States Army. Staff Sergeant John Garrison Traylor, Jr., United States Army. Specialist Sean Michael Tobin, United States Army. Lance Corporal Matthew J. Smith, United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer First Class Kevin Howard Patterson, United States Navy. Lieutenant Colonel Yvonne Marie Anjecki, United States Army. Private First Class David Vincent Markham, United States Marine Corps. Specialist Latanya Michelle Phillips, United States Army. Sergeant Rodney Alonzo King, United States Army. Corporal William Leroy Hinton, Jr., United States Marine Corps. Lieutenant Colonel Benny Tom G., United States Army. First Sergeant Raymond Burt Tonkin, United States Army.
Private First Class David Vincent, Staff Sergeant Ricardo Don Curvin, United States Army. Chief Warrant Officer 3 Jonathan Wade Green, United States Army. Sergeant Justin Gustav Blesner, United States Army. Specialist Stephen Raymond Sarvis Sr., United States Army. Sergeant Eric Stanley Markham, United States Army. Private First Class Tion LeVar Hartsfield, United States Army. Sergeant First Class John Reuben Makey, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Adam Thomas Harding, United States Army. Master Sergeant Stanley Max Williams, United States Army. Airman Damian Shamal Marshall, United States Navy. Private First Class Amanda Gonzalez, United States Army. Petty Officer Third Class Abdul Rahman Sar, United States Navy. Sergeant Michael James Sotelo, United States Army. Lieutenant Commander John Forrest Riggs, United States Navy. Fireman Recruit Bryant Leroy Davis, United States Navy. Captain Sammy Salem Corey, United States Army. Petty Officer Second Class Gilbert Rivera, United States Navy. Lance Corporal Wesley Aaron Sly, United States Marine Corps. Private First Class Octavio Luna, United States Army. Sergeant James Michael Blake, United States Army. Commander John Michael Johnson, United States Navy. And Specialist Jason Paul Cupp, United States Army. And I've also been given the privilege tonight to read one other name. We do have a Gold Star family present, Rich and Tatiana Odson. And they have given me the privilege to read their son's name. A1C Alfred Comler. Comler. Excuse me. United States Air Force.
Is there anyone here who would like to call out loud someone that they know that has given their life for our country? It doesn't matter what generation. If you had a friend or family member and would like to take this moment before I go to the next piece. Anyone?
Yeah.
Guys?
Robert Paradise. He died in 1967. This was before he came to Korea. He was in U.S. Marine. I was a high school Marine.
Thank you. Sir?
I got a friend of mine, Howard Rutland, he was in the Air Force, and I don't know what day he passed on, but he didn't make it.
Augie?
Larry Martoni died serving in Vietnam, and he was a sergeant in the Marines.
Yes, sir.
My Uncle Ben Brothers. Got shot in the hip in the crossing at Normandy. Sent him over the channel, patched him up, strapped him to the chair for the next wave. He was a boat driver, Sergeant, Army. Got shot in the head on the way over.
Sorry. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Yeah, my personal hero, my dad, George Gurecki, First Class Petty Officer, United States Navy.
Yes, sir.
John Foster, it's my grandma's brother. He died when they were out on patrol, like in Alaska. His partner didn't put like his gun on safety, and they were in the Jeep and they hit a bump and it just went off and shot him right in the head.
I'm sorry. Anyone else? The way we end this piece of reading of the names is just with a moment of silence. So if we'll all just bow our heads for a few moments in reflection of the names that were read, the miles that were ran, and the sacrifice that was given. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all for participating in this moment with us. This will duplicate itself every night for the next 115 nights, 113 nights, as we travel from one Legion post to another, most likely, and be able to read the names of that day. Tomorrow will be 41 miles and 123 names. And so, I just ask that you please share this, with those in your sphere of influence, your friends, your family. Runforthefallen.org is the website. It's live during the day as long as we have a signal. And we appreciate any support at all to help us get through the next day and the next several days and months until we end in Arlington. So thank you again, Wendy, for the opportunity to be here, to share this moment with those that are with us. And you guys may not have known what you were getting into when you showed up, but I hope it touches your heart in a way that you'll remember for a long time. All right? God bless you, and sir, we're looking forward to being entertained.